Hey, we are talking about how to let go of the guilt when it comes to setting boundaries after divorce. Now, I'm Terry. I've helped hundreds of divorced clients let go of their abandonment wounds and their divorce baggage so that they can create happy, healthy, fun relationships in their next chapter. Okay, so now what we call it with men, we call it nice guy syndrome, okay? And so you nice guys who people please and bend over backwards, particularly with women, that you want their approval, you want their love, right? And so I find this with a lot of divorced guys. They're nice guys, but we got to step out of that nice guy syndrome into good guy syndrome. And how do we do that? So we do that by understanding that guilt doesn't mean that you've done anything wrong. Okay, so if you've been a people pleaser your whole life and you're transitioning this mindset around boundaries, I'm going to tell you, you're going to feel guilty. You're going to feel guilty because this is how you've gotten all your approval. This is how you've boosted your self-esteem. And so it's really hard to shift those patterns and not feel a little guilty when you're telling people no, or you're doing things that are good for you and not putting other needs above your own. But here's the thing. Guilt is a feeling, and feelings aren't facts. So you have to check yourself. You have to go, do I really have anything to feel guilty about? No, I'm doing what's best for me. I'm not hurting anyone, and I'm not responsible for anyone else's feelings. So, it's really about kind of that checking within yourself. And the other thing, this is like a reframe, right? Here's a great reframe about when you start to set boundaries. You might lose some people who benefited from you not having any boundaries. That's true. But those people were just using you anyway, and they weren't really there for the good of you. So you can shift that mind frame around that as well. Another thing to think about when you are setting boundaries, it's going to be very, very difficult to follow through unless you've done the inner work to build up your self-worth and your self-esteem. Because right now, you're benefiting from not having the boundaries because you get your validation, you get your self-worth through other people's approval. And when you flip that and you love yourself and you know that your needs matter and you've internalized that through self-acceptance, self-love, inner child healing, when you do all that work, you no longer need anyone else's approval, you don't need anyone's validation, and so you feel at peace no matter what. And just another benefit from having boundaries that people pleasers really need to understand is that when you have boundaries, people actually feel more secure in your presence. Because right now, you might be wishy-washy, or people might really not know where you stand, or da-da-da. But think about those people who have really strong boundaries and communicate them very fluently and effectively. You feel really secure in their presence. You know where they stand. You don't have to guess where they stand or what's important to them. They communicate that and they radiate that, and everyone feels more secure in their presence. So think about that when you are questioning yourself. Should you set some boundaries? Hey, people will respect me more. People will feel better about themselves in my presence. So I love all that. So listen, I teach a 5-step methodology. It's a systematic multi-modality process in which I show you how to heal those underlying abandonment wounds and childhood traumas so that you can feel confident and feel at peace in this next chapter, and you know that your next relationship is going to be a healthy one. So I'm going to talk more in depth about this topic and why you're struggling after your divorce and why you feel stuck after your divorce. And I have a free resource for you where we're going to deep dive into that. So if you want that, just hit me up with a #yes, and I will be sure to get those details over to you. Okay? Talk to you soon.